and welcome to the Daily Report. It is a Wednesday and happy hump day to you. I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyerungita.
And my name is Hibak Said. We of course have a very detailed bulletin, and afterwards we're going to be talking about the World Quality Week. But first, let's take a look at the highlights.
Tonight,
7 teachers arrested over allegations of exam malpractice in Migori and Nyamira counties.
On examination of the phones, today's paper, we were able to find chemistry paper with answers being sent.
Also tonight, Governor Mwangaza awaits Senate's decision on her ouster. Senators are expected to vote on the impeachment.
The Okorea program, as I said before, has been there for the last 12 years. It is purely funded by Baite Family Fellowship.
And government revises upwards fees for various services, including passports and IDs, as Kenyans are now required to pay 1,000 shillings when applying for ID. Welcome once again. Our sign language interpreter is Catherine Simaloy. To start us off, police are holding over 20 suspects in response to the allegations of exam malpractice in the ongoing Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education.
Now, 5 teachers were apprehended in Kuria, Migori County, while Nyambaria Boys' school principal has been interdicted following allegations of exam cheating.
Now, and as Andrine Kilemi reports, a student at the Sironga Girls High School in Nyamira County was found in possession of examination papers in a toilet and is currently detained at the Nyamira police station.
In Migori County, 5 teachers from St. Mary's Mabera Girls Secondary School were arrested on suspicion of involvement in exam irregularities, and the authorities seized 30 mobile phones during the operation. Confirming the incident, Suna East Sub-County Directorate of Criminal Investigations Richard Cheriot disclosed that the teachers were apprehended at a church where they were allegedly assisting students in solving chemistry examination questions.
On examination of the phones, today's paper, we were able to find chemistry paper with answers being sent by another teacher from the same school who was not there, being sent to one of the phones of the teachers.
In Nyamira County, Charles Onyari, the principal of Nyambaria High School, has been suspended from his position as the center manager due to allegations of complicity in exam irregularities at the school. Nyambaria had notably achieved the top-ranking status in the 2022 KCSE exams.
Today, we woke up to this school, which is Nyambaria, which is also in Manga, and I had to go and support my colleague because I think now these instances are different. So I want you to understand that the action we are taking may not be similar because every action is taken according to its own merits.
At Sironga Girls High School in Nyamira, a student was found in possession of examination papers in a toilet and is currently detained at the Nyamira police station.
We also have Sironga Girls, where there was also some incidents. But in Sironga, is a bit different because in Sironga, this student was not found with this material inside the class. She was found with the material in the toilet.
Concurrently, the Ministry of Education has issued a warning to examiners advising against the dissemination of examination materials on social media shortly after they have been administered to candidates.
We shall continue making sure that those who abuse the social media are dealt with.
While speaking during the opening of examination containers in Kisauni, Basic Education PS Belio Kipsang indicated that he has been collaborating with his counterparts in the ministries of ICT and Interior to eliminate any loopholes in the examination system. Andrine Kilemi, TV47.
Thank you, Kilemi, for that. Now, the ongoing flooding situation has instilled fear among the affected population due to the potential outbreak of waterborne diseases, including cholera and malaria. The World Meteorological Organization has predicted that El Niño will persist until April 2024, further exacerbating the situation.
According to the Kenya Red Cross, as of yesterday, approximately 65 or rather 85,000 households were displaced, with 19 people injured and 26 fatalities reported. Sheila Chilangat with the report.
Kenya just recently emerged from severe drought and is now facing severe flooding linked to the El Niño. In Tana River, Fiji residents in Garsen are in distress as the raging waters invade their homes and farms. Most here did not heed to the calls of moving to higher grounds, leaving them stuck in their farms, marooned by water.
Mashambani maji yameanza kujaa polepole. Sasa sisi hatukujua kwa maji yatakuwa mengi saizi hii.
In today's rescue operation, 15 children under the age of 10 together with their parents were rescued.
Mvua hii imeanza siku 3 zilizopita, lakini mvua maji mengi haya ni ya mto ambao ni mvua ya kutoka sehemu za juu.
The devastating impacts on Kenyans now poses grave concern, which according to the Kenya Red Cross, as of yesterday, at least 85,000 households had been displaced, 19 injured, 26 dead due to the ongoing flooding.
Some of the areas have been cut off, and these are called in for extraordinary measures, including even aerial assessments and drop-offs where necessary.
Wajir and Mandera have been hard hit by the floods, with access to humanitarian aid there proving to be futile.
The only road that gets in and out of this town is completely now blocked off. The town of Buna, this is the 6th day nobody has gone in, nobody has gone out. The town of Elwak, the same situation.
The real fear residents in these areas are staring at is the outbreak of waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid.
Today we had cholera cases reported in Garissa. So that is a risk that is likely to be on the radar for all responders. Lysamis right now has reported malaria upsurge.
But even as urgent intervention begins to be sought, the World Meteorological Organization predicts that El Niño will last till April 2024, this piling pressure on the response towards affected people and areas. The call now is for enhanced and urgent intervention, especially for public health, as the ongoing rains persist. Sheila Chilangat for TV47.
Thank you, Sheila Chilangat, for that report. Now listen to this. Kenyan citizens will now need to allocate more funds to obtain essential documents, such as their national IDs, passports, birth certificates, and death certificates.
In a Gazette notice dated November 6, 2023, and signed by Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki, Kenyans will have to pay 1,000 shillings to obtain an identity card, with those seeking to apply for passports required to part with 7,500 Kenyan shillings, up from 4,500 Kenyan shillings.
In the revised charges and levies, charges for birth certificate certification will increase from 50 Kenya shillings to 200 Kenya shillings. The fee charged on late registration of birth and death certificates has risen from the current 150 Kenya shillings to 500 Kenya shillings. Additionally, Kenyans will pay 1,000 Kenya shillings for re-registration of birth certificate, a significant increase from the previous 90 shillings. Those who require some changes made on their birth and death certificates will be forced to pay 1,000 Kenya shillings from the current 130 Kenya shillings. Kenyans who have attained the age of 18 will now be required to pay 1,000 Kenya shillings to obtain their national identity card, which was previously issued for free. Those seeking to replace their IDs will be required to pay a fee of 2,000 Kenya shillings from the current 100 Kenya shillings. civil servants card will now cost 1,000 Kenya shillings, up from 100 Kenya shillings. The government has equally revised passport fees upwards across all categories. Applicants for 50-page diplomatic passports will be charged 15,000 Kenya shillings, up from 7,500 Kenya shillings. The ordinary 34-page passports will now cost 7,500 Kenya shillings from the current 4,500 Kenya shillings, while ordinary 50-page passport will now be priced at 9,500 Kenya shillings, an increase from the current 6,000 Kenya shillings. Those applying for the 66-page passport will pay a whopping 12,500 Kenya shillings, a significant rise from 7,500 Kenya shillings. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
And let's talk politics. And Azimio and Kenya Kwanza senators closed ranks on Wednesday morning, calling for the impeachment and sacking of Public Service Cabinet Secretary, that is Moses Kuria, for interfering with the ongoing impeachment proceedings against Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza.
The morning uproar, which forced the Senate to suspend the impeachment trial for a while, came after Kuria accused Kenya Kwanza senators supporting Governor Kawira's impeachment, exposing faultiness in the ruling Kenya Kwanza coalition.
Moses Kuria should be fired.
In a rare display of unity, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio senators closed ranks, asking President William Ruto to sack Public Service Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria for interfering with the impeachment of Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza by posting his views on the impeachment process on social media, which senators said undermined and belittled the House. Among those who led the charge was Kenya Kwanza Majority Leader Aaron Cheruyot and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's ally and Nyeri Senator Wamatangi Wahome.
Central region is no shortage of intelligent people who are capable of learning the docket that Kuria is learning, and he should be shown the door as early as today, Mr. Speaker. We have the power, Mr. Speaker, to tell the President that indeed such a CS like Moses Kuria should be fired, if not yesterday, today in the morning, Mr. Speaker.
It is my submission, Mr. Speaker, that the earlier CS Moses Kuria is let off his duty, the better for this administration, Mr. Speaker. Because every single day, in every action that he undertakes, he continues to embarrass the President and the people. No wonder the people of Kiambu resoundingly rejected his bid to be their governor, Mr. Speaker.
Kuria starred the hornet's nest after he posted on X names of 13 senators, majority of them from Kenya Kwanza, whom he said are supporting the impeachment of Kawira, while disputing the threshold for her removal.
Moses Kuria is an incorrigible national shame. Mr. Speaker, one of the things that I ask myself is just how much embarrassment does the President have capacity to endure? And I can assure you that if nothing is done about Moses Kuria, there is more embarrassment coming. That one I can guarantee.
The CS latest post has exposed divisions not just in Parliament, where members of the National Assembly are opposed to his impeachment, but also in the Mount Kenya region, where he has taken the battle for the region's kingship duel to Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's doorstep.
Up to now, I have not seen any reason, as Nimrod as a leader, to impeach Moses Kuria.
Moses Kuria is a sharp mind and is a hard worker. We should not impeach him based on what he says.
When you are a CS, you are expected to conduct yourself in a certain decorum. You are a state officer and you need to understand your state officer.
Section 152(6) of the Constitution mandates an MP to garner the support of at least 1/4 or 88 MPs out of the 349 MPs in the National Assembly to propose a motion for the dismissal of a cabinet secretary. Going by differences between senators and members of the National Assembly, impeaching CS Kuria will be no mean task in what is a case of split loyalties and allies. Apul Kamau, TV47 at Parliament Buildings.
Interesting insights into the Senate. Thank you, Apollo Kamau, for that report. Now, global oil prices have recently experienced a significant drop of over 4%. Neighboring countries like Tanzania have responded to this by announcing a reduction in fuel prices.
now attributing it to the decrease in world oil prices. However, the situation in the country tells a different story, as fuel prices remain high and there are projections of the prices swelling even further in the near future. Grace Kuriakanja paints this picture for us.
Pricing is likely to go to $150 per barrel in the coming months. And that, when you bring to the liter in the market, is likely to really continue accelerating the price to the liter at the pump. And it could go as high, it could go as high as $300.
300.
A statement that has rattled many, as this would mean an increase of over 80 shillings per litre for petrol. However, the situation in other parts of the world is different. There is indeed a drop in the prices.
From the highs of around 92, 93 to $94 per barrel, and now we are doing around $80-something per barrel.
The chairperson, Petroleum Outlets, is however optimistic that soon Kenyans could see a difference.
We expect a drop of about between 5 to 10 shillings. If the prices drop is anything to go by.
This effect, however, according to him, could be felt from December to January, as the petroleum products procured by Kenya are usually done 2 months prior. There has been the issue of what many believe is the overtaxation of fuel.
The increment of petroleum since 2018, petroleum cost was around 108 at the pump, and today we are doing about 217, meaning there's been an increment of about 100%. And the increment in taxes has been about 25 shillings. So to me, taxes are not majorly the reason why, in as much as they account for something, it's not majorly the reason why the prices are going over the moon. So the government may have to sit down and come up with ingenious ways of how they are going to cushion the mwananchi.
The mwananchi's representative to parliament, however, holds different opinions as far as fuel prices is concerned.
We are asking, is the war in Hamas and Israel only affecting Kenya? So the president is supposed to lower the cost of basic commodities, starting with the fuel.
I don't expect the cost of fuel to come down. Today, people are driving and the cost of fuel is high. So the best thing to do it is not to work on the prices coming down, is to enable my friend here to afford a litre at that.
And so we wait. Will the fuel prices go down, or will we have to adjust to the current prices? Only time will tell. Grace Kuriakanja, TV47.
Most definitely, time will tell. And you know what? Tomorrow, time will be telling if the president will actually be talking about this. And this story alludes to the same. A section of Azimio members of parliament have threatened to walk out of a joint parliamentary sitting where President William Ruto is scheduled to address the nation and present his first-year performance report, unless he addresses the pressing issue of high cost of living.
This as MPs allied to the Kenya Kwanza administration asserted that the president is cognizant of the challenges posed by the high cost of living, saying that steps will be taken to address these issues, particularly regarding the high cost of fuel and the streamlining of the debt sector, among other key concerns. Here is Elizabeth Mutuku with more.
Your Excellency,
President William Ruto is expected to address a joint sitting of Parliament in the National Assembly chambers tomorrow 3 p.m, this being the first year scorecard since he took over power. The address comes amid challenges of high cost of living and skyrocketing prices of fuel, with a section of Azimio members of Parliament threatening to walk out of the chambers should President fail to address this matter.
Cost of fuel is high, and now they are telling us it's likely to hit 300 shillings per litre. Which country are we living in? And are you telling me it's only because of the wars we are hearing that we are the only country suffering? The answer is no. There's so much that we are not being told. And that's why we say tomorrow, Mr. President, we expect you to tell us what actions, what steps as a country you are going to take to lower the cost of living.
So basically, I think we're on the wrong track, but we expect things that are positive. If they are not positive, like my colleague has said here, we are going also to take measures to send a message to the government.
However, their counterparts from Kenya Kwanza Brigade are optimistic amid the challenges witnessed in the country. The president will address the matter and clearly come up with a solution to streamline the issue, which they insist is a global matter. During the address, President Ruto is scheduled to report on all measures taken and progress achieved in the realization of the national values referred to in Article 10, as well as submit a report for debate to the two houses of parliament outlining the progress made in fulfilling the international obligation of the republic.
If he does not handle the issue of fuel, then the rising fuel cost coupled with the rising foreign exchange rate will eat into his efforts, and that will lower what he has, lower the gains. Yes.
The address also comes in the wake of ongoing bipartisan talks, with MPs stating that would be keen to see if the president will pronounce himself on the matter, with speculations of referendum come next year.
We need to be more convinced that, why are we holding these talks instead of, and why do you have, because remember we have a parallel constitutional amendment bill in parliament, addressing some of the issues that are being raised at the bipartisan talk. So why the duplication? Are we likely to go into a referendum? Because those are things that Kenya really want to know about. Of course, Kenyans will be looking to hear from President himself.
The expectations are so high from members of parliament ahead of tomorrow's presidential address, with the question of high cost of living still lingering in the minds of many, with hope this is going to be streamlined. Elizabeth Motuko, TV47 Palm Biddings, Nairobi.
And within the bicameral House, senators are tonight expected to cast their votes on whether to impeach Governor Kawira Mwangaza or not.
This as Governor Mwangaza attributed her woes to external forces and the 2027 political aspirations of influential legislators in Meru County.
Now, the governor has pointed out that the frosty relationship between MCAs and her administration has recently intensified thanks to the external forces.
Our political affairs reporter Paul Kirobi with more.
Bishop Kawira Mwangaza do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the Senate in respect to the matter before the Senate shall be the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
In a highly uncertain turn of events, the fate of Governor Kawira Mwangaza, whether she will continue to serve as the governor of Meru or not, remains shrouded in uncertainty. The governor has raised eyebrows among senators by alleging that a group of MPs, including Senate Deputy Speaker Kathuri Murungi, who is allied with the Kenya Kwanza coalition, were conspiring to impeach her in the lead up to the 2027 general election.
Until the last 2 months, when people, external forces tried or are trying to interfere with the leadership just because of 2027 politics. That is the whole truth.
The second impeachment motion against the governor will significantly influence the political course of Meru County. During her defense before the plenary, Governor Kawira revealed that a faction of MCAs is allegedly being manipulated to remove her from office.
We can post there. He is heard making certain remarks about Keberi and forces from Nairobi. What is he talking about?
He is referring to the Meru MPs and also the senator that they should keep off Meru because they have their own leader.
One of the central allegations against Governor Kawira pertains to the Okolea program. In her submissions, she vehemently denied claims that the program is funded by the county assembly.
The CS came and said because of the unrest in Meru, he has to ban the Okolea until there is rest in Meru. It was not banned permanently. I think for his own wisdom, he decided and acted so that we get peace and continue as a church. It is purely a church program.
When cross-examined about trips made to China, where the governor had sent close associates, she disclosed that a private company in China was planning to establish a cancer treatment center in Meru, and only 4 individuals had traveled to China, excluding herself. She emphasized that those invited to China had no affiliations with her.
Well, the people that came to visit Meru associated themselves with the Chinese government, and upon arrival of my team there, it was contrary to what they said. It was just a private business company interested in investing in Meru.
This marks the second impeachment trial for Governor Kawira Mwangaza, who initially ran as an independent candidate. The outcome of this proceeding will determine her political future in Meru County. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
And the proceedings are ongoing. Governor Kawira Mwangaza's fate lies in the balance. As we talk Money Matters.
Oh yes, and now to Money Matters, and this week has been quite a roller coaster ride in the stock markets.
We have seen some significant fluctuations and volatility, keeping investors on their toes. Prices have been swinging up and down, reflecting the uncertainty and various factors impacting the market.
It has been a challenging time for traders and investors. Take a look.
It was a rough week in the bourse as the benchmark indices all closed in the red, led by the Nairobi Securities Exchange 10-share index down 4.5%, largely on the slump on Safaricom and KCB Group. The Nairobi Securities Exchange all-share index 20 and 25-share indices retreated 4.1%, 1.3%, and 3.9% week over week, respectively. The telco-dominated trading activity at 48.7% of turnover, plummeting 6.8% week over week to 11.65 Kenya shillings. KCB Group suffered a similar fate, shedding 13.3% week over week to 16.35 Kenya shillings, extending its decade low on bearish local sentiments, closing the week as the worst performing top mover. CIC Insurance led the gainers list while Sasini topped the losers list. Foreign investors were net sellers once again, registering net outflows of $0.3 million. Safaricom led the selling charge while KCB Group led the buying charge. In the week, liquidity in the money market moderated following a series of tightening as the average interbank rate slowed to 12.32% from 12.59% in the previous week. The Capital Markets Authority will suspend part of day trading fees in a bid to incentivize activity in the equities market day trading.
The way this will incentivize local investors interested in locking those little marginal changes within the day, but in a holistic scale, for as long as local investors remain on a bearish sentiment on the market, this will not cause much with regards to turnover levels.
Natasha Wairimu, TV47, Nairobi.
Right, and CIC Insurance Group has announced early voluntary retirement packages or exit packages for its employees.
Now, the restructuring now in its 4th year from one of Kenya's oldest and largest insurers is meant to cut costs and streamline operations to remain competitive in the market.
Now, despite the restructuring, the company posted a net profit of 705 million Kenyan shillings before tax in the 6 months to June 2023, a 168% jump from 263 million shillings in the same period last year.
The jump has been boosted by strong growth in its insurance services revenue and lower expenses rather.
CIC Group Insurance grew by 20% to 12.9 billion shillings, while insurance service results grew by 93% to 862 million shillings.
CSE further says assets under management grew by 33% to 138 billion shillings from 104 billion shillings. Operating expenses also declined by 3% to 684 million shillings due to prudent management cost.
The insurer says the exercise is projected to save the company at least 15% of the annual staff costs.